my 10-week bump date. That's right, guys, I made it to double digits. Double digits. I talked about last week about how like double digits is like turning 10 years old. I'm 10 weeks pregnant. The baby is the size of a prune, which I just couldn't really go out and find that. But basically the baby's about 1.5 inches big. I'm gonna say 1.5 inches is like this big. I don't know, like this big? Yeah. The size of a prune. I'm really excited because 10 weeks is super cool. I feel like every week I get closer, I'm just so much closer to being out of the first trimester, which is my goal, is to get out of the first trimester and into the second and third smoothly. Let's go and get started. I have so much to update with you guys. I had a doctor appointment. I've been having new pains. I've been having some bad food problems. So let's just get into it. First things first is we're gonna talk about the doctor appointment. The doctor appointment went very well because obviously the baby is okay, and we got to see the baby for like 20 seconds. It was very minimal. We got to hear the heartbeat, which was phenomenal. It was a nice, strong heartbeat, the doctor said. It wasn't really like an actual ultrasound, no. I think they just did it to confirm the pregnancy rather than actually like giving an ultrasound. Because now I have like an actual ultrasound like planned in a few weeks. So for the most part, we got to see the baby and just get like a picture or two. I'll show you guys right now. And we got to see the heartbeat. The pictures are not that great of quality. I actually did another video on my channel comparing these pictures with my other ultrasound pictures. I'll link up in the iCard because I just think that the quality isn't as great considering it was almost 2 weeks later. But regardless, we got to hear the heartbeat. Carlos got to go, which was very special for us because from here on out, Carlos can't go to any of my doctor appointments. Even like the next ultrasound I have with this doctor, Carlos doesn't get to come at all. So it is such a bummer. I don't think we can do anything to change that though, but he did get to come to this one and hear the baby, which was really exciting. So overall, the doctor visit went really well. I had to get a pap smear, which I really didn't want to do. I tried to get out of it, but I had to do it. I had to do the pap smear, really didn't want to do it. Another thing that went on was she addressed my, like when I was filling out paperwork, I wrote down that my sister Missy had a bicornuate uterus with a full septum, and the doctor actually was really nice enough to even bring that up for my paperwork and told me that that shouldn't be an issue with me and that it's usually not a genetic problem. And then she went ahead and looked at my uterus and she said my uterus looks pretty good. She said there was a slight divot, like a slight little boop like this, but I don't know if that's true or not. I heard that you can't actually like see that kind of issue through like just regular ultrasounds. But in my ultrasound, you can kind of see like it's almost shaped like a jelly bean. I don't really know if it's normal. I don't know if it's true. Either way, I'm not gonna worry about it. And she said the baby right now was on the bigger side anyways, which was just all good news. So I'm not gonna really worry about that. But other than that, the ultrasound went really well. It's very interesting because this doctor, like I said, I'm not really sure if I'm gonna stay with her, but it's funny because if I have this baby with this doctor, I'll have this baby in the same hospital I was born in. I don't know if that's kind of special or not. Obviously the hospital is way more updated now, including like the entire wing is like all brand new, I heard. But I thought it'd be kind of cool to have your baby born in the same hospital you were born in. But also I don't know if I love that hospital. So I'm still kind of, you know, looking over a few ideas of switching doctors. Did I like her? Did I not like her? I don't really know. I might give her a chance for like another like appointment or something. I'm not sure. But overall, the appointment went very well. Super happy the baby was okay. I was so nervous that something like was gonna go wrong because I'm always just a nervous Nancy. This doctor appointment did give me my official due date, which is April 9th, like I said. However, she didn't do anything special other than just calculate my due date the same way I calculated my due date. So in a way, I more was hoping if they would measure the baby, get those measurements and be like, oh, your baby's measuring this big, your due date's not that exact date anymore. But they didn't measure the baby at all. They didn't do anything for the baby. They just were like, when was your last period? I gave it. They were like, okay, you're due April 9th. So, I mean, I'm still gonna go with April 9th. Either way, if it wasn't April 9th, it'd be just a few days off, obviously. But I was more hoping that they would measure the baby, but they didn't. So, I don't know, leave in the comments if that's just normally how due dates are predicted. Is it strictly just off your last period, or do they measure the baby and give you a due date that way? But, I mean, I don't know, I kind of thought that I was a little bit more ahead, but she didn't do anything like that. But my next ultrasound with her, it will be more in depth, and I think they'll measure the baby fully. But, oh well. I mean, April 9th is fine. I like April 9th anyways, okay? It's a few days from our anniversary. It's perfect. So let's talk about a little bit of my symptoms lately. A lot of things are the same. I'd say, like, I'm not getting nauseous still. I'm not sick. However, just so many foods are disgusting still. And I've noticed that the foods I like are actually like childhood comfort foods. which yes, it is like a lot of carbs and a lot of just like things that aren't good for you. But that's also just like what I ate growing up, you know? We ate, you know, chicken and rice, and we had mashed potatoes and mac and cheese, and those are all the things I've been craving intensely. And same with fruit. I grew up with lots of fruit as well. So I think instead of like, oh, if you're craving these foods, you like you're this or that, I'm just like, I'm craving food from when I was little, and I don't eat those foods a lot anymore because they're not really that good for you. But here I am now, 10 weeks pregnant, and all I want is my mom's mashed potatoes and like my mom's cooking, basically. That's kind of where I'm at with that. I'm happy about it because luckily I have my mom who could just like make something. But also it's a struggle because the food is not that healthy. We got bagels and cream cheese, we got mac and cheese over here. But luckily I make it up when I eat all the fruit, I guess. Right? Balances out, right? Balances out. Yeah, it does. Balances out. An interesting pain I was feeling the other day that I firstly was like really freaked out by, but I ended up doing a little bit more research of, was that I think I was experiencing round ligament pain a few days ago. Because now I haven't had that pain since, and since then I got to see the baby and everything was good. But I was experiencing like some sharp pains in my stomach, and it was really uncomfortable. And I get so nervous over every little pain. But I think it was round ligament pain. So I think round ligament pain, it means that your belly's growing. I think it has to do with like the stretching. So that's really interesting. I do think that I am officially like really showing. I think I said that last week too though. Or like the week before that too. But now I really do think I can see a little bit of that bump in the bottom half of my belly. You can kind of see it in my pictures and videos over in the beginning. But I do think that I'm really starting to show. Not that like I think other people would know that I'm really pregnant. Like if they didn't know me or know anything about me, they might just think I'm a little chubby. But I know people around me are like, oh yeah, that's a little baby bump. To kind of emphasize on why I think I'm showing and not just like, you know, gaining tons of weight, is that I haven't really gained that much weight for the pregnancy. I'd say that for the most part, I started out around 112 and I basically hover around 113, 114. And like that's when I like measure myself in the morning. I weigh anywhere between 113, 114, not really 115 unless I do it after breakfast. So I'd say I really haven't gained more than 2 pounds, which helps me like feel like, okay, I'm not just like gaining tons of weight and whatnot from eating my horrible foods that I'm eating. I do feel like I am just gaining a healthy amount of weight, mostly because I'm not throwing up. A lot of people who like, you know, have lots of morning sickness, they end up losing lots of weight during their first trimester. But since I'm not having that issue, I just think that I've gained like about 2 to 3 pounds tops. And so that's why I think I'm starting to show more. Although at the doctor office, I weighed 117, okay? That wasn't fair because they made me weigh myself with all my clothes on. I had sweatpants on, I had like a big shirt on. It was not fair. I had my phone, I had my wallet in my pocket. It wasn't fair. They made me weigh myself like that, and I was like, can you knock a couple pounds off? Like I don't weigh 117 pounds. I would know if I weighed 117. And also I do feel like I've been staying really active for the pregnancy. It's not like I'm going running or anything like that, but I do go on long walks. I'd say every day with the dogs. Like we go on long walks. Like I gotta say at least like a mile or two, right? Like 2 miles, I think. It's like hour-long walks that we go on. So I'd say as long as I keep that up, my activity level is like pretty good. Obviously I'm not like doing weights as much anymore, and I'm not running because I wasn't really much of a runner anyways. I'm really big on like, you know, people saying like don't start things that you haven't already been doing, you know? So don't go doing things like when you're pregnant that are new to you. But if you were already doing these things, then that's good for you. I wasn't much of a runner beforehand. I've always hated running. So I'm not really doing a lot of running right now because I just don't feel like it's natural or something that I was consistently doing prior. Running's a no-go, plus I hate running anyways, so it's a perfect excuse. And the last thing I'm gonna touch on today, I think, is that I get to know the gender soon. It's so close. It's so close. I think the way we have it planned out is that we should definitely know the gender by like early October, which is so exciting. We're in the midst of like, you know, planning a little gender reveal. Obviously no fire involved. Okay, I know this is a huge thing right now. Like people hate gender reveals because, you know, it's like people are lighting stuff on fire. We're not doing any of that. We're not gonna do anything like that. Obviously we live in California. The entire state's on fire right now. We're not gonna make it worse. But we are planning a fun gender reveal. Missy is at least. And I'm just really excited. By early October, we'll know the gender. And then before that, I'll even get to have like my ultrasound with my doctor, which will help me confirm that everything's good with the baby. I'm getting blood work done to make sure everything's good with the baby. Then I'm gonna get my ultrasound for the gender. So it'll all just be like, at 12 weeks, I'm gonna be super happy. And then like a week later, we'll know all that we want to know. And I'll be super excited. So that's the last thing I want to touch on for today. I think that's it for today's bump date. I'm really excited to just keep going, keep plugging along the 12 weeks, guys. 2 more weeks. I can't live in double digits right now. Every time I make it to another week, I'm just shocked that I get there, you know. I'm still pregnant, everything looks good, baby's healthy.
It's a huge milestone for you.
It is a huge milestone for me. Double digits was a big goal. But now 12 weeks is the big goal. 11 weeks is cool, but 12 weeks is where we want to go. Anyways, that's it for today's video. If you guys have any questions or advice, make sure you guys put it down below so that I can mention it in my next bump date. I always forget to bring up things. There's always something I forget to say to you guys. So the more stuff you guys comment down below, the more advice you guys give me down below, the more I can remember for my next bump date. And that's it for today's video. Hope you guys liked it. If you did, smash that thumbs up button. We'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.